starry kiss would give me such bliss. 3 meals a day and you, that's my wish. Your lips are like wine, sweet cookie of mine. I'll tell the world you're simply delicious.
Well, hi everybody, this is Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. I'm back with another thrift haul video, and hey, I got a lot of really nice glass, so I can't wait to show it to you. The music we started out with is called You're Simply Delish. That's Jack Teagarden and his orchestra, recorded in 1930. So let's see what we've got in front of us. Now, if you had a chance to check out my my Monday night Guess What Sold on eBay video, that was last night, you'll see that these pieces right here in the front are already sold. Now these are called Charm. That's the pattern. It's made by Anchor Hocking. It is not marked on the bottom, and Charm never is marked on the bottom. It doesn't say Fire King. And this was made from 1950 to 1956. I just picked those up at a flea market on Saturday for, was it 50 cents? Yeah, 50 cents each. And I put them up online, and within like 2 hours they sold. And I think they sold for $25. That's right, there are no saucers here at all, just the cups. Very heavily reproduced jadeite, but not the Charm pattern. So when you find Charm, you can be pretty certain, well, you can be certain it's the original stuff. And if you want to know how desirable it is, if you go on replacements.com, they currently don't have any of it. They're completely out of stock on every single piece of Charm. So if you see it, pick it up. It's got a square look to it. The saucers and the plates are square. And it has this funny little diminutive sort of handle on it, which almost looks too small, too skinny for the other dimensions, but that's how it was made. Fire King Charm. Alright, so those are already sold. We'll get those out of the way. And over here is a piece of Carnival Glass. Now, this was made by the Imperial Glass Company. And the Imperial Glass Company was located in Bel Air, Ohio, which is actually right on the border. It sits on the Ohio River, and I think it's Wheeling, West Virginia, that is right across the river. But anyway, the company was founded in 1901. Their Carnival Glass began to appear around 1908 or 1909. Fenton was the first. They got there first in about 1907. But Imperial came along right on their heels, and this particular piece of glass is called Double Dutch. Now, we'll zoom in on it so that you can see, boy, there's a lot going on. It's busy. I mean, the first thing you'll see is a windmill, but wait, you see two windmills. Okay, this company made two patterns with windmills. Now, let's keep this straight. One pattern is called Windmill, and it only has one windmill on it, just one, but there are two versions of it. They also made a pattern called Double Dutch. For obvious reasons, there are two windmills. So we have two windmills, a pond, a little dude in his boat, some trees, and yep, there's a lot going on this piece. Carnival Glass by the Imperial Company was reproduced in the 1960s when the company realized that people were collecting it, there were clubs forming, there were organizations to preserve the history of Carnival Glass. They started reproducing it, and the reproductions have an IG stamped in the bottom of it. The company almost went bankrupt in the 1970s, and it was the Lenox company that tried to bail them out and keep them going, but they did actually go out of business in 1984. So if we flip this piece over, we look at the bottom, move it into this light, there's no mark on the bottom. There's nothing to tell us that Imperial Glass Company made this. We know this is the early piece from 1915 to the 20s. I'll bring this back into view because this was in a previous thrift haul video. This is also Imperial Glass and slightly different color between the two. But if you'll notice, when we turn this one over, it is clearly stamped, and you'll remember this from the last thrift haul video, IG. You see the I inside the G? Or the two of them are superimposed? I don't know, but there they are. When you see that I and that G, you'll know, and I think Imperial started stamping their things IG in 1953. So the pieces from the 50s on, if it's Carnival Glass, it's going to have that IG. That's the newer stuff. The old 1910 Carnival Glass won't have that IG. So that was from another thrift haul. We'll get that out of the way. This is a footed bowl with a ruffled edge, 3 feet on the bottom. No chips, no cracks. Not a lot of value. As I've said many times, Carnival Glass is way down. Not sure what I'm going to do with that. Might hold on to it because it looks really nice next to this piece, or not necessarily right next to it, but really nice fall colors. So I don't know. Maybe I'll give it away. How about that? When I get 1,000 subscribers, maybe I'll give it away. I don't know, but let's move it out of the way. Now back here are six little cut to clear wine glasses. Again, in my last thrift haul video, I had champagne glasses from the 50s, about 10 of them. They were also cut to clear. And I've been pretty lucky in finding these sort of 1950s era cut to clear glasses. I'm sorry, not cut to clear. That's back there. This is a flashed on color is what I meant to say. The color is not inside of the glass, it is flashed onto it. It's part of its manufacture. It has an iridescence to it as well. These were 50 cents each. I'm trying to remember to tell you what I pay for everything. That Carnival Glass bowl that I bought was $4. And these little guys, I'll see if I can get 18 bucks for the set. We'll see. That might be a little bit of a reach. This is called cut to clear. Let's move this guy to the front. It's a Bohemian wine decanter. When I say Bohemian, most likely. I mean, that's where most of this glass was made. It has a nice amber color to it. There's the stopper, which will pull out. And you can see up here in the light. Now, cut to clear refers to the fact that this entire piece had that amber color, and then it was tooled on a wheel and it was cut. The amber color was cut off to reveal the clear glass underneath, and that's why it's called cut to clear. These pieces are not terribly valuable. You want to make sure, if you're trying to be vintage, that you're not getting the new stuff that's being made in China. This is an old one, and it probably dates to the 20s or 30s. I didn't have any little cocktail glasses to go with it, but it really is a pretty amber color. And that was $3. Ooh, I should be able to get about, if I don't break it, I should be able to get about 20 bucks for it. This is a very nice candy dish circa 1925 to 1935. I can tell by the clarity of the glass that this was made by one of the better glass companies of that era. Now, it's not marked on the bottom, so I don't think it's Cambridge. I'm going to show you some Cambridge glass in a minute. It could be Falstoria, it could be, let's not even start naming all the names, but there were many very good glass companies that were still producing very nice glass during the Depression era. And this is a beautiful yellow color, and it is a lidded candy dish. Very heavy. This was about $3. Very typical form from that period. So some very lovely pieces of early 20th century glass, still very affordable for folks who want to get in on it. Here are 4 fantastic Cambridge cups and saucers. Now, the Cambridge Glass Company, they were probably, they made some of the most elegant depression glass in the category of elegant depression glass. Now there's cheaply mass-produced colored depression glass that has lots of imperfections, and then there's the better grade. Cambridge was definitely making a better grade of glass. Guess who they sold their molds to in 1958? Imperial. Okay, but this is Cambridge. I knew it from a mile away. It's got a beautiful clarity to it, as you can see. This is a beautiful pink color. This is the decagon pattern. And again, in one of my last thrift hauls, I had a decagon etched ice bucket. The other nice thing about Cambridge, from 1927 to 1937 thereabouts, their pieces were all marked. And we can see on the bottom very clearly a triangle with a C in it. See that? That's Cambridge. And look how clear that glass is. Very beautiful. And there are no rough edges here. A lot of times the cheaper depression glass, if you've ever felt it, you'll feel there's a seam here that can be very rough to your hands. This is just really elegant, beautiful glass. The 4 cups and saucers, you know, I have not yet, what did I, it was $4 for these all bundled up, the 4 cups and the 4 saucers. And they should sell for between $8 and $10 per cup and saucer. So on a good day, there's about $40 worth of cups and saucers right there. There's a beautiful piece of uranium glass. We don't even need a black light to figure that out. We can see it. It's a divided dish, and often these dishes are just floating around by themselves. This one is still down in its original chrome, what do you call this? Chrome, not fitting or case, but basket, I guess I would say. And I'm not sure who made the glass, but I know this is Farberware, because it says right there, Farberware. And could have told you that without turning it upside down, because Farberware, they made, Farberware and the Chase Company made almost every piece of chrome that you're going to see really in decorative items in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. Of course, Farberware is still in business and known today for their pots and pans. That's a little nut dish, candy dish. You could have condiments in it, I suppose. And that should sell for, honestly, I don't know. I love it because I just, the style of it is beautiful, the color of it is beautiful, so I need to stop saying that I might not sell it. I'm in the business to sell. This isn't a museum. Where are we now? Okay, back here you'll see a group of dishes, and this really looks very modern. It's produced from 1938 into the 40s. The pattern is called Ranchero. William Shaw George founded his pottery company. He actually bought the East Palestine Pottery Company in 1904. He went bankrupt in 1955, so this pattern, introduced in 1938, was manufactured through the early mid-40s, Again, it's called the Ranchero pattern. Excuse me. And if we turn, let's pull the sugar bowl out. If we turn it upside down, we see it says Cabot Shaw Division W.S. George. Now, W.S. George is William Shaw George. Cabot Shaw were family names of his. Obviously, his middle name was a family name, and Cabot was a name, so it was a division of his company. This is called Canary Yellow, sometimes Ivory. You'll also see this with strawberries on it. That was called the Shortcake pattern. There is a big coffee pot, a small teapot, a sugar bowl, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little, almost demi-tasse cups and saucers. Now there's a couple of issues here. Number one, there's no creamer. And you may say, well, okay, search and see if you can find one. Well, unfortunately, I will never find a creamer to match this set, and the reason is, look very closely at these things and you'll see I originally thought, oh, cool, sort of mid-century modern, little Art Deco graphic design on the front. Now I'm going to zoom in and show you. Take a good look at that. What do you see? It's not a design, it's a monogram. You can clearly see H, and the third letter is definitely an R. Did some research and found out that you could actually custom order dinnerware, china, from this company, and they would monogram it for you. So whoever Mrs. HHR was, she broke her creamer, or somebody else got it in the family, and we'll never be able to find one. So what are we going to do with it? I don't know. It's beautiful design. I think the nice thing about the monogram on it is, if I didn't tell you that, and you didn't really look at it, you would probably not notice that that's an H, and an R. So I think it's still a cool set. I think someone might still be interested in it, even with that stylized monogram on it. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to ever find a creamer to go with it. I need some help with this because I didn't do a whole lot of time, but I can't figure out what's the upside down eye going on here with this Chicago. There's no make on the mug. No maker's mark on the mug. You know, I just sold a whole bunch of these restaurant ware mugs. This is not made by Victor, but I did a quick search for Chicago mug, upside down eye, couldn't find anything. Does anybody know? Am I missing something? Hey, maybe it's like that postage stamp with the upside down airplane that's like worth millions. This could be my retirement right here. Yeah, doubt that. Let's get this glass out of the way and move over to this. We're almost finished here. Don't turn over to Grandma and Ginga yet. Hey, if you don't watch Grandma and Ginga, go to YouTube and search for it. They're hilarious. This is a McKee refrigerator dish, and it is clearly marked McKee on the top, which try to get you to see that mark. See it right there, MCK? It's also on the bottom of it. This is an ivory color. The jadeite seems to be the most popular and the most desirable, but what's cool about this is flawless. You always find chips around the inside of the lid or chips around the inside rim of the dish. There's not a single chip anywhere on this. And you can imagine that refrigerator dishes with these lids being pulled on and off and on and off would get chipped up like crazy. That's in beautiful condition, and it was $2. Right now, I really don't know what they're going for online. And before I forget, yes, you've seen those before, but they're finally restored. These really nice glass bedroom lamps from the 1940s. The shades are for display purposes only. The shades really aren't the right style or the right size. They should be lower than that to cover up part of the sockets, but I wanted to show you what the lamps look like, all fired up and ready to go. Rewired with, of course, antique plugs. And two more things I'm going to show you. these two things I'm really excited about. This is a set of mid-century modern candles, Christmas candles, and they're oil burning. Kind of hard to see them back there with that fancy backsplash, but if we go down to the bottom, typical brown wood of the 60s or 50s, chrome at the bottom, and then these are like a plasticky material in here, and they have little sparkles in them. Can you see the little sparkles? Why don't I just pull them out? Duh. This one sits in there a little loose. I've got to put something around that to make it fit in there a little tighter. But see the little sparklies in the plastic? And then up top, I won't pull this off, but you can pull these off, and there's a long tube on the inside. The wick goes all the way down, and you pour the oil in there, and then you light these. So they're waxless candles. Mid-century, 1950s, 60s, oil-burning Christmas candles. Those are really cool. Gonna do some more research to try to find out who made them and what they might be worth, but I'm not gonna let those go for cheap because the design is great and I've never seen them before. Last thing I want to show you is a fantastic Art Deco lamp that I picked up for $10. I almost didn't go to this particular flea market because they were predicting rain and it was overcast, and I went anyway and found that beauty for 10 bucks. Isn't that sweet? This is all chrome, which I cleaned up. I took it all apart, cleaned the glass, put it all back together again. That's the blue mirror. There is a little bit of loss, and as I've said before, blue Art Deco mirrors were very fragile. They don't hold up well with age, and you usually get a little bit of silvering loss. That's kind of acceptable. I rewired this one with a reproduction silk cloth cord, which is what would have been on it, and of course an antique plug. So everything on it now is restored to the way this thing looked circa, we'll say 1930. Let you see it under there. Nice frosted glass shade. No chips on the shade at all. Very modern looking. And there might have been a second one. They might have been dresser lamps. Or it could have been just a small occasional lamp, desk lamp, or a radio lamp. That's a keeper, all right? Yes, you know I love my 30s, and I certainly love Art Deco, and this is a great example. 10 bucks for that lamp, and in that condition, that lamp would probably sell for $70 or $80 online. So did I get everything? I guess so. The free record from the day, as you know, I always stop and pick up free albums. Ray Anthony and his Young Ideas album. So I guess I need to whip out the record player, put on my Young Ideas, pour myself an iced tea, and see what happens. This is Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying, thanks for watching, and so long for now.